right, let's get right into it. We are going to talk about one of the biggest mysteries around Jin-Woo, and believe it or not, it has nothing to do with his power level. Nope, it's about something way more primal.
Everything kicks off with this really strange comment from Cha Hae-en, who's one of the strongest S-rank hunters out there. To her, every other hunter has this awful, repellent stench. But Jin-Woo, he smells nice. And this one weird little detail is what starts to unravel a much, much bigger story.
So what does that even mean, right? For an S-rank hunter, you have to understand their senses are off the charts. So this isn't just some throwaway comment. It flags Jin-Woo as a total and complete anomaly in this world.
What's so wild about this is how it really breaks down the puzzle. For Cha Hae-en, that nasty hunter smell is universal. It's a given. In fact, it's so bad she's usually covering her nose. But Jin-Woo just shatters that rule. He isn't just unscented, he smells good. This has literally never happened before.
And, Jin-Woo himself has a pretty good idea why. He starts to wonder if this whole scent thing is tied to his big secret, the fact that he's the player. This system he's part of already makes him different from everyone else, giving him this unique way to get stronger. So could it be changing his very essence, all the way down to how he smells?
And you can see just how fast this one little observation starts to snowball. It's not just Cha Hae-en getting curious. At the exact same time, the guildmaster himself starts digging into Jin-Woo's past, and they both slam into the same brick wall. The Hunters Association has his file on lockdown. For a supposed E-ranker, that's unheard of. They're treating him with the same secrecy as a national-level hunter. The plot is definitely thickening. So, while all these big shots are investigating him, Jin-Woo has no idea. He's just trying to level up and make some cash. And after a really good day working on a mining team, he gets a very unique and very dangerous job offer. Which brings us right here to the high-risk gig. So because he was so skilled and worked so hard on that mining team, he got noticed. But the job they offer him isn't for more mining. No way. It's for something way more dangerous, something that's going to put him right back on the front lines. Okay, so here's the deal. The Hunters Guild needs a porter, someone to carry the gear for an A-rank raid. It's a non-combat job, sure, but it's inside one of the most hostile places you can imagine. The risk is so insane that every single other miner said no thanks. They know it's basically a suicide mission. But Jin-Woo, even though he's officially the weakest guy there, says, I'll do it. For him, it's not just about bravery. It's a calculated risk. This is his shot to get inside a high-level gate and see firsthand what kind of challenges and what kind of rewards are waiting for him. And just like that, he's inside the A-rank gate. But the second he steps through, his gut is just screaming at him that something is very, very wrong, even when all the official readings say everything's fine. And here you have the raid captain trying to calm everyone down. He sees the low magic energy readings and figures, hey, this should be a pretty easy clear. It's a totally logical conclusion, but it's also dead wrong. This chart shows you the conflict perfectly. The team's expectation, low threat. Jin-Woo's instinct, which was sharpened by that near-death experience in the Red Gate, he's sensing extreme danger. And it turns out, his gut was right on the money. That low magic reading wasn't a sign of weakness, it was bait. It was camouflage for a trap. And the trap springs in 2 stages. It's actually pretty clever. First, they run into these ridiculously weak C-rank monsters, which just gets them to lower their guard. And then, once they're nice and relaxed, the real threat appears. A whole horde of elite high orcs that just smashes into the team's front line. So the team is about to get completely wiped out. The B-rank hunters are totally outmatched by these orcs. And yet, somehow, they managed to survive that first wave. And this is where the story gets mysterious all over again. This is the million-dollar question, right? The fight was a total mismatch. The A-rankers were tied up, the B-rankers were about to get steamrolled, so what changed? How did they survive? Well, the first clue comes from the hunters in the thick of it. They all noticed the same thing. These super fast, super strong high orcs just suddenly got slow and clumsy, and that gave them just enough of an opening to fight back. And it wasn't just in their heads. One of the mages on the team confirms it. She picked up the signature of a stealth-based skill, a debuff that's specifically meant to slow enemies down. It's a really high-level support spell. And here's the kicker. Nobody on their team has that skill.
Their mages are all about firepower, so that life-saving spell came from someone else, someone unseen. And, well, the only unofficial person on this raid happens to be the E-rank porter, Jin-Woo. So, after barely surviving that ambush, thanks to a secret assist, the captain makes the smart call. Get out. Time to retreat. But, yeah, the dungeon isn't quite finished with them yet. The second they decide to bail, bam, the exit just vanishes. It's replaced by this magical barrier they can't break. They're trapped. And it's only then that the real boss of the dungeon, the one who set this whole trap, finally decides to show its face.
The boss, a high-orc shaman named Kargalgan, doesn't just roar and attack. He talks. He gives them this absolutely terrifying choice: get slaughtered by my army or agree to a little chat. This isn't just some mindless beast. This is an intelligent, powerful commander. Seeing no way out, the captain prepares for the end. He actually hands his last will and testament over to Jin-Woo. His plan is to create a diversion, sacrifice himself and the whole team, just so Jin-Woo, the guy they all see as a weak non-combatant, might have a tiny chance to escape and get help.
And that brings us to the final, critical question. The last time Jin-Woo was in a hopeless spot like this, in that double dungeon, his party abandoned him and left him for dead. But now he's with a team of hunters who, yeah, they might look down on his rank, but they are ready to die for each other. So, what's he gonna do? Will he play the part of the weak little porter and try to run? Or is this the moment he finally shows them all his true power?